Hey guys, it's Miss Sandy. Welcome to our next virtual Acro class. It is May 28th. Can't believe it's already the end of May, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend and got to enjoy whatever it is that everybody took the opportunity to do this year. I know it might have been a little bit different than your normal. But yeah, so really excited about this week's class. I have a couple of administrative things I want to share with you. And then I'm going to dive in. But again, as I mentioned, I'm really excited about this week's class. I have a new theme for you that I want to introduce and have some fun with. But before, a couple quick reminders, and it's no different than any other week. Dress appropriately, please, for class. And also check your spacing and make sure that you have a safe place to do all of the skills, drills, exercises, conditioning that we're going to touch on today. With that said, there's a lot of this I might mention going outside to do. Perfectly acceptable with the weather turning. So I wanted to make sure I went through that with you. The other thing is, and I think that you recall me reminding you of this every spring season, the weather's nice. A lot of you have some fun equipment at home. Some of you may have gotten air tracks to do some work on. Some of you have trampolines, etc. So I just want to remind you to be extremely careful. The springtime, we always seem to see a lot of kids coming into our physical classes with injuries because they're on trampolines with 20 other kids, which is not safe. Please be very, very careful. I'd hate to see any of you get hurt in the beginning of the summer season, so stay safe, okay? Before I jump into class, there's a couple of things I thought I'd share with you. I wanted to share with you some resources that you might be interested in checking out. I know I check out some of these things every day and I'll explain them. So first, please don't forget about our previous virtual classes. That is a resource for you. They're available for you to use at any time, at any place. So please take advantage of having access to those and doing some of the different exercises and conditioning and strength training that we are offering for you. And as I mentioned last week, get your families involved. There's a couple of those things that'd be great for your families to try that are the safe things that can get everybody some physical activity, which would be great. But other resources that I really wanted to share and make sure that you are aware of. So I don't know if you've had a chance to really take a deep dive into the Premier Dance Studios Facebook page. They have actually had a lot of alumni step up, which is amazing, and share some videos and some training as well. I know Miss Noel has a video for you to check out, as well as some other alumni. So please go on to those pages and check them out. I know the one I mentioned about Miss Noel, it's actually on the page that I post this video. Scroll all the way down to the bottom. It was the first video that we actually posted. Some of you may have missed it. I want to make sure that you don't forget to go back and see it. Really valuable information in there and things for you to practice. So please take advantage of all the videos that are being posted as part of the studio. It might give you something different to try and challenge you in different ways. So please don't forget to do that. But the other thing that I wanted to share, and this is all, of course, parent approved, right? But there's some social media channels or pages that I actually watch every day or when a new video gets posted. My favorite, and I'll share, is the International Gymnast Magazine. It is a Facebook page. I have never seen anything inappropriate, so you can tell your parents that, have them, they can watch this and challenge me on it later if I was wrong. But it is actually one of my favorite pages to watch. Now, it actually incorporates men's and women's skills. It shows lots of great routines. It shows past Olympic routines. It shows videos from it'll show you differences between what skills were being performed in 1950 versus today. It's really cool to watch, and it's really amazing to see the different skills that people are working on and kind of critique and pay attention. Think about the things that I've told you during class, and you can see like, hey, oh wow, they got really high on that back tuck or that layout because they use their arms, something Miss Sandy tells me all the time, right? So I think it's a really valuable resource. I would check it out. I'm actually, I'm a fan or liked their page, so every day I see their new videos and I just love watching them, and I think you will too. Keep in mind when you're watching things like that though, they are, when they're doing the floor exercise, because they also do all the apparatus. For the women, it's vault, bars, beam, floor. But when they're doing the floor exercise, which is what I want you to pay particular attention to, they're on a loaded floor, which means they work on a different floor than we do. So a lot of the height that they get is going to be a lot different than what we actually work on. So keep that in mind. And then also, I think it's really important to mention, there's a lot of like bar routine, the uneven bars. Watch the amazing handstands that they do on those bars. You know, we may not work on the bars, which is completely fine, but some of the skills that we work on are applicable, right? So like they're very relatable. So check that out. I think you'll find it really interesting, okay? The other one that's my current go-to is called the Tumble Doctor. It's also a Facebook page. Now, when I watch it, I actually tend to mute it because I don't necessarily need to hear their commentary, but I like to watch the skills and the drills that they're doing. I think it's really interesting. So that might be another one to check out. Again, not my number one, but maybe my number two at this moment. But it does tend to change. But my number one doesn't change. So International Gymnast Magazine, please check it out. If your parents allow you to check out things on social media, please do. Okay. With that, we'll move on. I want to introduce, we've been doing a lot of, one of the things I've been priding myself on, and Miss Heather's been really helpful with, is I didn't want to duplicate a lot of drills and skills because I wanted to give you a variety of things to do, and I wanted to give you the ability to go back and see the previous virtual classes and not have a lot of duplication, okay? But I'm going to change it up a little bit this week. I've themed this week called Add a Trick, okay? All of you have played a game with me in class called Add a Trick, where we all line up, right? One of you does one trick, the next person has to duplicate that trick and do another trick. Third person has to do the first trick, second trick, then add a third trick. And you all have to remember it using your memories, right? We're not allowed to give hints. And then if you don't remember, you kind of sit out, right? Until we have an ultimate winner. So it's a really fun game. I know that every class I've taught really enjoys it, and we have a lot of fun. This is a little different flavor of Add a Trick, but what we did is Miss Heather and I thought about what things have we done in all these virtual classes, and how can we pair them together to create combinations, or to make them more challenging, or just to kind of spice it up a bit. So we have quite a few things that we want to do today that relates to that concept, okay? So again, as always, I'll run through them really quickly, and then there won't be a lot of demonstrating, but you should understand what it is that these are and be able to perform them. And if ever you have a question that you don't understand something, you can put a comment on the Facebook post that this is found on, and I will respond, right? I should be receiving notification that there's a response in there, or that there's a question in there, and I will definitely respond. So please feel free to use that as a communication channel, okay? Or email the studio. They always can get a hold of me very quickly, okay? So I mentioned Add a Trick is our theme for this week, okay? So first, we always have to start with a stretch. It's extremely important. We're going to do a warm-up. And actually, I'm going to add one thing to that stretch. I'm going to note it really quick right now. I'm going to put, just so I don't forget, because I want to get a little bit of aerobic in there, okay? I forgot to add that today. Okay, so we're going to do a stretch and a warm-up, I'll call it. But then we're going to go into our typical warm-up, right? Where I have specific things I want you to do to get yourself moving. Then we're going to go into our first Add a Trick is going to be a Valdez Plus. It's going to depend on your skill level on this one. So you're going to start with a Valdez or a prep for a Valdez, and then add a skill after, and I'll walk through that. The fourth thing we're going to do is a plank, jack, jumping jack combo. I actually did an online boot camp class that did this, and I just enjoyed it, to be honest. And I thought there's no reason why you guys can't do this. It's beneficial, so let's do it, okay? Next, we're going to do a round-off tuck jump, right? We've worked on round-offs by themselves and tuck jumps by themselves. We're comboing those, right? And I'll explain the ins and outs of that. We're going to do a push-up series. This is the one thing we're repeating where I'm not adding anything because it already has a bunch of skills in it, okay? But I think it was really great. We're going to do that, and I'll show you a video of that one. We've done a candlestick as well as one-legged squats. We are going to add those two together. Pathetically, I tried this on my own, and my mat, my carpet here slid, so I'm not going to demonstrate it because I almost fell over, but I'll walk you through it. The next thing is going to be, we've done back handspring drills and we've done back tuck drills. We're going to add those together and put them together. Then ninth thing is always a stretch. We're going to do that. And then I have a new challenge for you. I'm calling them bridge pirouettes. It's probably nothing of what you're going to imagine or think of, but I thought it was a fancy name. So I created that myself. All right, so anyway, this is what our day is gonna look like today, our class is gonna look like today. And with that, I will get us started. I need to keep this with me because it's my cheat sheet, and I do have videos to show you, so I need my phone. So, first thing is stretching. What I want you to do, and this is the one thing I added one piece to get some our blood pumping a little bit more than just a typical stretch. So what I would like you to do, similar to other classes, and I'm sorry for the repeat, but it's so important. I want you to do your right leg. I think that's Christmas tree needles, sadly enough. I want you to do a right leg split, a left leg split, and your straddle, chest to the floor, right? Each for 1 minute, okay? And then I want you to do 30 jumping jacks. I hope you all know what jumping jacks are, but we're doing jumping jacks later, which is why it's important for us to just get ourselves moving and getting our ankles moving. But honestly, right? Just as a reminder, just in case, I want you to just do 30 of those. Please extend your arms. I don't like to see this. Like, that's really not getting the most out of it. I want full extension with your arms, okay? All right, so 1 minute each, right leg split, left leg split, and your straddle. And then I want you to do 30 jumping jacks. The only other thing I want you to do in this stretch is something with your back, okay? We've done a lot of different back stretching exercises through all the virtual classes. I'm indifferent as to which one you pick or what you do, but I do want you to limber up your back a bit. So make sure you do that as well. So I want you to pause the video. I want you to go and do those, right? And it should take you some time, right? If you're doing 1 minute each of those legs, that's 3 minutes already. So you should be stretching between over 5 minutes with jumping jacks and also your back. That's minimum, right? So make sure that you're doing it well and doing it correctly, okay? All right, so pause the video, come back, and I will walk you through the next piece of our warm-up, okay? All right. All right, so the next piece, so our warm-up, and it's, again, similar to what we do in our physical classroom, when we do our warm-up and we get started, there are 4 different warm-ups I want you to do. I'm gonna tell you each individually, go do them, come back, and we'll pause the video in between each one, so you don't have to try and remember them, and I don't want you to forget to do one, okay? The first one is gonna be, this is not a big surprise, I want you to do 10 handstands. That's not very many, just 10. If you flip over, it doesn't count, okay? So you have to actually, you know what? I wanna make this a little bit more challenging for you, okay? 10 handstands. You have to do 10 in a row without flipping over, which means if you're on number 8 and you flip over, you have to go back to number 1, okay? I think that would actually encourage you not to flip over at all and to really work on squeezing and staying real tight, because that's the important piece, okay? And also to do it in a more controlled fashion, all right? So straight legs, pointed toes, don't forget, no arches, right? Okay, so I went 10 in a row, great, straight-bodied, beautiful handstands. So pause the video, go do that, and then come back, and we'll move on to the next thing, okay? All right, I don't need to use this to explain it. This is something you guys are very familiar with. We're gonna walk on our hands. Now that you've done 10 in a row, beautiful handstands, I want you to try to walk on your hands. Now, watch your spacing wherever you are, inside, outside, okay? Make sure you have a decent surface to do it on. Walk on your hands. Now, I can't tell you a specific number of steps in a row because everyone's abilities are going to be different. But for those of you who are really good at walking on your hands, maybe add the pirouettes in between, halfway down, wherever it is that you're going. But again, if you're not that far along from an advancement perspective, try to beat your personal best, right? And try it a couple times, all right? So pause this video, go and do those walking on your hands, and then come back for the third warm-up, okay? All right. So this third warm-up, we're switching it up a little bit for some of you, okay? Now, if the goal is 10 front walkovers, if you are not yet able to do front walkovers, I want you to do 10 handstand bridges, not dissimilar to any other warm-up that we've done. So that's what you're gonna do. If you can do a front walkover, obviously I want front walkovers. If you can do a front walkover very proficiently and it's pretty simple for you, okay? I want you to do what we do in class, and you are going to land with your leg up, right? You don't need to switch your legs or anything, but land with that leg up. It's actually gonna force you to use those hip flexors and control it, okay? It must be time for their workout. Yep. The other one will be coming down shortly. Okay, so either you're doing handstand bridges or plain front walkover or a front walkover landing with your leg up, okay? So with that, pause the video, hit those front walkovers, and then come back. Okay. The fourth warm-up that I want you to do, and this is actually going to also get your blood pumping a little bit, is roundoffs, because we're going to use roundoffs later, and it's important to get them warmed up. Now this is, again, something you want to do potentially outside or wherever you have decent spacing, okay? Roundoff rebounds, okay? It doesn't require a run, right? A power hurdle like we've talked about before into that roundoff rebound, okay? That was the other one. All right, so I want you to go do your 10 roundoffs, come back, and then we're gonna actually move on away from our warm-up and move on to our third item for the day, third activity for the day, okay? Okay, so now this is going to be complicated for some. So everyone knows that I love doing Valdez. Like that's something I really focus on in class when you're ready, right? A prerequisite for a Valdez from me, which means you have to be able to do this skill before I introduce a Valdez. You have to be able to do a back walkover. So if you are still working towards your back walkover, you probably haven't done a Valdez yet, which is okay. We're going to do a prep for it, which we have done before in the virtual class. So I'll get there in a moment, but first let me focus on the Valdez side. Okay, so those of you who are doing a Valdez already, you're going to do your Valdez. Now remember, this is add a trick, right? So what I want you to do is, and in class, you guys know this, we typically do a Valdez into something anyway, right? So I want you to do a Valdez and do a back walkover, okay? That's the minimum. If you have both those skills, I want you to put those together, okay? If you have your back handspring step out alone, if you have the spacing to do it, and you can execute it safely, that's what you add. Valdez, back walkover, back handspring step out. Not different than what we do in class, okay? So I want you to work on those. Again, please, it's all about safety. If your parents don't want you to work on that at home, that's fine. Keep it simple with the Valdez and the back walkover. But if you have the proficiency, the ability, and the spacing to do it, I want you to work on that, because you know I'm going to expect it when we get back to class, because it's one of my favorite sequences to do. That's what I want you to give a whirl. If you cannot do a Valdez, okay, and as a reminder for those of you who may not be as familiar, Valdez is you start in this position, right, and you go up and into a bridge as this leg comes over, so this foot never touches the floor until you land over there, okay? Since that is something maybe you're not prepared for or ready to do yourself, what I want you to do is start in this position, but bring this foot in, push up into your bridge, and try to kick over. It's a prep for a Valdez that I want you to work on, okay? And then when we get to class, I'll spot you for the full Valdez, and we'll make sure that we do it together, okay? But that prep is what I want you to do. And I think, and I'll ask Miss Heather to do this, I think that she posted a video of that prep in a previous virtual class. I'll see if we can reattach it to this class video just to remind you of what that is, okay? So I want you to, honestly, I want you to try the sequence. If you're doing just the prep, but if you're doing more than one skill, I want you to try everything 10 times, okay? That may be sort of my magical number today. So 10 tries, okay? It should take you some time, really focus on it, don't rush through it. Okay, a Valdez is supposed to be slow and beautiful, okay? The back walkover is supposed to be slow and beautiful, and then you add that pow with the back handspring at the end if you can, all right? So pause the video, go work on that, and then come back, and we're gonna move on to our fourth add a trick. Oh, that was way too many, that's 9. Fourth add a trick, okay? All right. All right. So the next one is something that was fun and new, and something I did as part of an online boot camp class I tried today. Thought it was fun, so I thought we would give it a try. So we've done a plank jack in a previous virtual class, okay? And in our warm-up today, we did jumping jacks. We are gonna put those together, okay? So plank jack, add a trick, jumping jacks. Okay, so, let me do this. It honestly took me a few tries to make sure I didn't miss part of it, but all you're going to do is, actually as a reminder, plank jack, and we're gonna do it from our hands, not our forearms, is open, close, okay? And jumping jack is open, close. So what I want you to do is put that together, but we're gonna start standing. So it takes more effort, and it's gonna get your blood pumping a little bit more. So you're going to go, out, open, close, in, stand up, jumping jack. And then repeat. Out, open, close, in, stand up, jumping jack. Okay? One more time. Out, open, close, in, jumping jack. Okay? I don't think you need to see it from this direction. I think you kind of, whoo, my carpet is so slippery. But I'm going to try to do it one more time anyway. So you're going to squat down, jump your feet out, open, close, in, jumping jack. Okay? So, what I want you to do is do 10, and that would include both the plank jack as well as the jumping jack is one, right? So do it 10 times, rest, 10 more times, rest, 10 more times. So you're gonna do 30, okay? And we did jumping jacks in the beginning, not kind of a similar number. But this is gonna get your heart rate going a little bit more, okay? So with that, pause the video, go do those 30, come back, and we're gonna move on to our 5th add a trick series for the day. All right, so this one, round-off tuck jump. You've of course done round-offs, always like as an individual skill. And we've done tuck jumps, and I think actually in one of our very first virtual classes, we did tuck jumps as a back tuck drill, okay? So we're gonna put them together. This one, again, you might need some room for, so and a decent surface, so please be very careful, okay? So you're gonna do the round off and into a tuck jump. A couple of reminders, okay? Don't run. A power hurdle is completely sufficient, right? So the power hurdle, again, is and round off, okay? I didn't wanna make the carpet slide, but pretty aggressive. Now, out of the round off. Now you're coming off the floor like this, right? Okay? But the idea is your hands are on their way up before your feet hit. We've talked about that before, and I think that's one of the challenges that some of you have. Because I want you not to land your round off here, right? That's not helpful. You don't want to ever do a back handspring or a back tuck from this position. It's dangerous. We want you here, right? So this is actually going to help you with that. You're going to do round off. Hopefully you land here, right? You're ready to go. And you're going to go immediately do a tuck jump. Now, we've talked about tuck jumps before. Your arms must be here. Your knees are coming up to your at minimum belly button. Chest is better, okay? Do not kick your bottoms, okay? That is not a good tuck jump. I want your knees coming up here, okay? So, round off, immediately into a tuck jump. Word of caution. For those of you who have already been doing back tucks, do not rotate, okay? The goal is for you not to do a back tuck, okay? Because you've done them before, you're used to that motion. I don't want you to rotate, this is just a drill, okay? So that be very careful about that part of it, okay? Because I don't want you to fall. With that, now again, arms up is the most important part. That was my one note I want to make sure I told you. I want you to do, I said 10 was my magic number earlier, but I'm lying now. I want you to do 15, okay? So 15 round off rebounds with a tuck jump, okay? Really aggressive. Pause the video, go do those 15 round off tuck jumps, come back, and we're gonna go into our 6th series, our 6th add a trick series of the day. Okay. All right. So for our 6th series, and again, I have to look because I have a video for this one. We did this before, but I really liked it. I know this is a repeat, but it's combining a couple of skills, and I think that's how I feel justified in repeating this one. What it is a reminder, I'm pulling it up now, it's gonna take me one quick second to find it. Where are you? There it is. Okay, so You're going to start in a push-up position, okay? You're going to step your feet in, kick over like a front walkover, or like a handstand bridge, I should say. Land in the bridge, push-ups, right? Kick back over and land in your push-up position and push up again. And it's back and forth, okay? Kind of like a seesaw, right? Okay? And we did this last time. I call it a ladder count, okay? So you don't do the same number of them every time you go. So we're gonna start at the top of the ladder. Okay, I think last time we started at the bottom, so 10. So you're gonna do 10 push-ups, kick over, 10 bridge push-ups, kick back over, then you do 8, we're gonna do evens. 8 push-ups, right? Kick over, 8 bridge push-ups. Kick back over, 6, 6, 4, 4, 2, 2, and then you're done. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the video just to remind you what it is I'm talking about. Let me see, is this the beginning of the video? Oh, let me rewind it again. I'm never fast enough. Okay, so push-ups. Okay, she limbers over. Bridge push-ups. And then she kicks back over, lands in that plank position, right? It goes right back into the next set of push-ups. Now, I think landing in that push-up position is important. She's not bringing her foot down and then stepping backwards. She's landing there. Okay, whoops, got a glare. So she was doing 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and I forgot to mute it. All right, so that's what I want you to try, okay? So if you don't understand, definitely rewind and check it out. But remember, do 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, okay? Evens. I mean, if you want to challenge yourself and do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for it. I was trying to be cognizant that you're going to be upside down for a long time, but I'm fine with evens. So pause the video, go do that push-up series and add a trick. There's a couple of tricks in there, a couple things. Come back and we'll move on to our 7th item. Okay, so for our 7th add a trick series, we're going to take 2 things that we've done in class already, and we're going to put them together, similar to everything else. So a few weeks ago, we worked on candlesticks, okay? And I think candlestick even to a jump, just to get a little bit of pressure and push on your ankles. So the candlesticks part 1, okay? I also had a challenge exercise for you one week of one-legged squats, where you would stand up here, squat down and up to the floor and up with only one leg, and then we switched and did both legs, okay? So, and as a reminder, the candlestick, let me go sideways here. The candlestick is, okay, my carpet keeps moving. So where your toes go to the ceiling, not behind you, they don't point behind you. That's not what we want. We want toes to the ceiling. That's making you really squeeze a lot of the muscles that you need to squeeze, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put those 2 things together. I'll be interested to see, I tried this one earlier, and again, my carpet slid. I didn't have a really good surface to do it on, so it didn't really go as well as I was hoping. I think this is pretty challenging, so I'll be interested to hear how it goes. But I want you to do a candlestick, but instead of just standing up with 2 feet, like I did when I demonstrated the candlestick part, I want you to get up with 1 leg, okay? So you're going to do the second half of the one-legged squat. So candlestick, roll back, stand up with just 1 leg. Now, the hard part, well, all of it's gonna be hard, but the hard part is I want you to try it with both legs, standing up with each leg individually, right? So what I want you to do it 10 times each leg. So for the first 10, I want you to try and stand up with just your right leg and have your left legs extended. And then the next 10, I want you to switch. And I want you to just stand up with your left leg and having your right leg extended. Okay, so this is really going to work those leg muscles, and I know all of you are incredibly strong, so I know you can do it. So you're going to do a total of 20, which is a lot, okay, but I think you can do it. So candlestick through to one-legged squat stand, okay? So pause the video, give that a try, come back, and we're going to move on to our next combo drill, okay? Okay, for our next combo, let me pull up, I have another video I need to show you. And it's a video I've shown you before because the first half of it we've done in class. Let me find it. Nope. That was close, close. No, oh boy. I swear I have a video of it I just checked earlier today. Okay, there we go. So we're going to do a back handspring, back tuck drill. Okay? Now I'm just waiting for the video to load. I'm gonna mute this woman because I didn't like her explanation. Okay, yep, we're gonna do this one. I have a couple of these videos saved of this. So what we're gonna do is I have that paused. So back handspring, back tuck. Similar to how I talked about the roundoff where you wanna be standing up real tall and strong. The same thing applies to a back handspring, right? You wanna come out of your back handspring, right? Not like this, right? So you would need to get a really good push off so you land all the way up here because, you know, and some of you, those of you that do the back tucks already know, I need to turn off this light. I feel like there's a big glare behind my head. So if you do not land your back handspring up here, the second back handspring or the back tuck is going to be exponentially more difficult and probably dangerous, okay? So what I want to do is the two skills we're putting together is a number of weeks ago we did something called a handstand snap down. So you're going to start a handstand, but you're going to take both legs together and snap them to the floor as you stand up, okay? It's harder than it sounds, to be quite honest. But what I want you to do is really work on getting those hands up as fast as you can and doing that tuck jump that we did earlier with the roundoff. So you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to do a handstand snap down, and as soon as you land immediately, tuck jump with your knees up to your chest and arms are here because that back tuck, as we talked about before, if your arms are not here, you are not going to get the height that you need, okay? So let me just remind you what the handstand snap down looks like. Is it playing? Okay, so she does a handstand against the wall. She takes both feet, snaps them down. Now she just landed and didn't rebound or didn't do the tuck jump. Let me see if can I turn this sideways? Of course not. Yeah, it won't let me turn it sideways, so let me show you one more time. Up here is where it usually shows nice. So she's using a wall, it's up to you. Snap your feet down, arms up, tuck jump. Okay, so we're mimicking the movement out of the back handspring and a prep for a back tuck. Okay, that's really the goal here. And then tuck jump. Okay, that snap down with 2 feet together in a very powerful motion is difficult when you have no momentum coming out of the back handspring because you're doing it standing. So keep that in mind. All right. So this is a really important drill. So please make sure that you really think about it and dissect it a little bit as you're doing it and thinking about where your arms are going. There is a lot to think about, but as I've told you in class, that's with every skill, right? So please remember that and pause the video. Oh, I didn't tell you how many to do. Honestly, I didn't actually come up with a number. I want you to do at least 10. I think we did, actually round-off tuck jumps, we did 15. Do 15 of those, okay? And and even those of you who can do a back handspring, back tuck, this is a great drill. I want you to focus on your arms. Super, super, super important, okay? So with that, I want you to pause the video, go do that drill, come back, and we're gonna move on to our, now I can say ninth item for the day. Okay, now as always, this is not changing from previous weeks. The 9th thing, so I always do 10 activities, right? The 9th item is I want you to stretch, okay? In the beginning, we added jumping jacks. That was just because we're gonna use it later. No need to do that. I want you to cool down a little bit. But I want you to do similar things. I want that straddle, split, right split and left split, and your back to be stretched out. It's gonna be really important because I feel like when everybody comes back to class, I better see better splits and straddles, okay? No reason to not, okay? You've had all the time in the world. Stretch them every day, okay? So pause the video, spend a good 5 minutes stretching and cooling down, and then we're gonna move on to our last item for the day. All right, so our last item of the day, I made up the name, but it's something you've already done potentially. This is our challenge, right? I think a few weeks ago, we worked on spider walks where you're in a bridge and you walk across the floor. I think we did feet first and hands first. So you went in 2 different directions, which is great. get your brain thinking and which way you need to move your hands and your feet. So it is a brain activity as well. This is gonna be more of a brain activity. On another day, we did handstand pirouettes, and I showed you a couple videos of that where you're in a handstand and you walk in a circle, okay? So I made up bridge pirouettes, okay? Now, that's just the name I made up, but what I want you to do is push up into a bridge, and I don't want you to walk back and forth in a straight line. I want you to just walk in a circle, okay? We've done this in class a couple of times where you are doing spider walks, and I want you to turn around halfway down the mat so you just switch directions. And it's always more challenging than what you think it would be. I'll be honest, because your feet and your hands have to kind of go in opposite directions. So it's actually, to me, like comical when people try this, because your brain doesn't know which way your hands and feet should be going. So it's fun to try. I don't think it's overly challenging from a strenuous perspective, but it's fun to try and get yourself thinking and your hands and your feet moving in the right direction. Okay, so I want you to do a bridge, and I want you to try to walk in a circle 5 times. Okay, you can come down between each one. This is not an activity that's geared at trying to test your ability to be upside down forever. So do a circle, you can come down. So it might take you a while to do that circle, not gonna lie. So I want you to try and go to the right 5 times, one at a time, okay? And to the left 5 times, one at a time. Come down in between each one, okay? And see how far you get, And honestly, if you struggle a bit, maybe practice this throughout the week and see if you're able to improve and get your brain thinking the right way, because it is a difficult one to do, okay? So pause the video, go try your bridge pirouettes, as I have named them. Come back, and we'll close up for the day. All right, so actually I said a lot at the beginning of this recording, so I don't have a ton to add, just that we can't wait to see you guys. Really missing seeing everybody in the classroom. I feel like it's so much easier for us to interact and us even explain and have your classmates show the different skills, and the camaraderie is always one of my favorite parts as well. Missing out on all of that, and I totally get it. But we're gonna make it through and get to hopefully get through this and get to the studio again soon. So miss you guys a lot. I hope you're all staying safe and healthy. I hope you're all finishing the school year strong. I know that's something in the Jordan household here that we're really trying, okay? And making sure that all assignments are wrapped up and final, and all grades are submitted, and they can move into their formal summer vacation. So please finish the school year strong. Schooling is really important. And with that, I guess that's it. So looking forward to seeing you, and I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll be in touch again next week. See ya.